Monday, no break. We made it to the middle of the week.
So welcome to this special edition of Reselling Insights with Dave and Lori. We are so excited to have Lea and Tommy Pagliugi with us, and they are going to share their reselling journey and their insights with us. And we are so happy to have them here. So welcome, Lea and Tommy.
Hey there.
Thank you for having us.
Where do you guys live, and what are you doing currently now? Do you work full-time, or are you reselling full-time?
So we live in Eastern Pennsylvania, near Bethlehem, PA is probably where people would know. And I actually just recently retired to resell full-time.
Wow.
Wow. You're retired. Wow. So how has that been for you?
Well, you know, it's been a journey, to be sure, but it's something that, you know, I've been in the retail industry for almost 20 years, pretty much in my entire working life. And, you know, when one of the things we started was my wife wanted to start reselling a little bit on eBay. I think everybody's done eBay a little bit, you know, sold a couple things out of the garage. And, you know, she hasn't been working for a couple of years. So I figured, hey, it'd be something for you to do, like get rid of the stuff in the closet. And, you know, and then, you know, we started to say, hey, maybe there's some possibility here. And then, you know, obviously we saw that you guys were doing some reselling on your own. We really want to understand what that could be. And it really wasn't until we came to visit you and see your operation that I started to kind of do some back of the napkin math and say, hey, like this can scale, but it's difficult to kind of learn how to do this and handle the operation and handle the inventory and handle the billing. So, you know, for me, at least, it's always been my opinion that, you know, you need to hire your weakness. Like if you want to grow your business, like hire your weakness. And, you know, inventory and distribution and, you know, operations was our weakness. And, you know, we saw you know, what you guys were starting to put together and, you know, this vision that somebody could actually, you know, retire, buy an RV, tour America and resell can only work if there's some place that you can send your inventory who's going to fulfill it.
So you guys have been with eBLISS for just under a year. And during that time, as you shared, Tommy, like Lea was really starting to explore reselling on eBay in particular. She has a great, you express she has a great sourcing approach. And when you guys were able to come out here and see our warehouse, I don't think you were speaking about RVing at the time. I don't remember that conversation, but so where you are right now, like, do you have enough space in your house right now for all the inventory you anticipate to get?
So we took our inaugural trip, we'll call it, in our RV last week. And it was a vacation and sourcing test run. We only sourced, I believe, 2 full days. And in those 2 full days in markets we are completely unfamiliar with, I want to say 264 pieces. I could be wrong. And I sent a picture to people because people can't believe what my basement looks like right now. Right now, I would say we have 2 rooms dedicated to inventory only right now.
Wow.
And those 2 rooms, unfortunately, are my living room and my basement.
Right. So basically inventory is overtaking your house right now.
And that doesn't count what you guys have.
Right.
That would have been here.
This is what we got in the RV, which allowed us to go further and into different areas, obviously. And this trip afforded us the opportunity to see that we can absolutely do this. We can get in enough pieces in the RV to get the ROI back. Period.
Right. I was going to say that's a pretty good number you're going to need to know. Like, can we even get enough stuff in this space to make it make sense? Forget about storing it in the RV because that's not practical for almost anyone unless you're buying, like, I don't know, trading cards or something like buttons.
And I mean, how many pieces would you say we have there? I mean,
you have, I believe it's about at least 500.
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Right. So that's another room.
Yeah.
that we don't have
Exactly.
anymore.
So
Yes.
explain to the audience, what kind of reseller are you? Like, what do you guys source mainly?
Mainly 99% is retail arbitrage. We go to major retailers, strictly major retailers at this point, and buy their clearance pieces, and we make sure that they're in good condition, free of stains, rips, tears. Everything is new with tags unless otherwise noted, because unfortunately I'll buy 5 or 6 of the same exact thing, and I'll just take all the hangers, and by the time I get them home, maybe 1 or 2 doesn't have the tag. But basically all high-end retail, designer brands in the mid-range, not the high-end designer. We're doing mid-range, Polo, Free People, Ralph Lauren, which he
Right.
learned is a different branch of Polo. Michael Kors, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. We kind of stay in that area.
And listen, there's a noble purpose, right? Like, in the grand scheme of things, really. Look, I love clothes. Lea loves clothes. You know, people tend to start to look at you from the outside in first, and it's such a great feeling to be able to, you know, dress well. You know, if you have to go to an interview, if you know, just be able to wear something that somebody normally couldn't afford. Like, we don't mind. We enjoy doing the work. Like, we can find that dress that someone could never afford on their own, but then also at the same time now has the opportunity to wear something designer. And that really makes us feel good that people can have that opportunity where normally they just wouldn't be able to, you know, have something like that.
And when you were out here, we sat down. I think we spoke for like way over 2 hours. We could have gone all night. It was great because you guys have passion. We shared the type of reselling we do, which is used pre-owned items, thrifted items. You're not doing that. You're retail arbitrage, as Lea said. You know the numbers. You're going to make it work. And I remember you, Tommy, you said, "Listen, we want to provide a good deal for people out there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, don't you want to get top dollar?" And what was your mindset when it came to just moving it?
You know, to me, it's about really turning and giving and moving the product out as quick as possible. Sitting on product, number one, it's look, it doesn't help your purpose. If your purpose is to do something great for people, then to try and stiff them for every penny that you're trying to get off of the merchandise isn't really the way to do it. That's just something you're saying and not, you know, acting in that way. Like, for us, it's about, you know, if someone, you know, asks us, you know, we get some great letters sometimes from people that are, you know, looking for a better offer, and they're like, "Hey, you know, look, can you guys do this for me? You know, times are tough." And we're like, awesome. Like, one of the things that we want to do with our website when we're up and running is we'd love to see people send their pictures in of like what they use the clothes for. Like, did they go out to some kind of wedding and, you know, they were on a budget and were able to get like a Ralph Lauren dress for a wedding, or a Michael Kors dress to go to a wedding and normally couldn't afford. And that keeps us going. Like, that's what keeps us wanting to find these deals for people. And, you know, in the interim, we get to, you know, just enjoy each other's company.
One of the inspirations in the very, very, very beginning, before it was a business, was I had a pile of his suits, and I said, nobody's going to buy these. No, who would buy these? This is ridiculous. No, nobody's going to buy these. And he was like, what if we give them away for shipping? Somebody just pays the shipping cost. And if they have it for an interview, they are obviously in need of a suit that they can't afford. Let's just give shipping. And then my daughter's college textbooks she purchased them used, maybe second or third time, I don't know. And I'm looking at a stack of college books that would cost, you know, $700 to somebody. And to me, it was free for media mail. Pay 1 cent and you can have it media mail. And that was really kind of the cornerstone of why makes us so happy to do it.
Wow, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that's how you guys started on eBay.
Yeah.
So that's very, very interesting. So where do you guys see yourselves going from here? It sounds like your journey has gone from here and here, but now it seems like it might be going this way.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you're thinking about going forward.
So, I mean, our dream, you know, and you know, for you know, people out there listening, you know, there's an amazing book out there about your love language. It's a great way to really connect with your partner. Our love language is time spent together. So we really enjoy spending time together, going to, you know, when I was younger, you know, and I'm only 44 now, when I was younger, I loved to own things. Like I like possessions. But as I started to get older, I realized that experiences were more important than possessions. So we started to travel more, and, you know, and the more we were able to find time together, right, we were able to connect in many different ways, not just personally, professionally, right, with our faith. And these are things that have gotten stronger the more time that we spend together. And looking forward, like you said before, we're going to be buying an RV coming up in January. And what we want to do is just tour America, see all the states, you know, pick and source in those states, and then ship it all back to you guys, and then go back out again.
So
That's exciting.
yeah, it is. I mean, the sourcing is great. Most resellers love that. I've only met like a handful that don't. But so when you're on the road, you'll be doing your listings on the road, and then you'll be sending in, 40 at a time, as you go. Because we established that relationship with you guys where you're like, we're in a small place already. We don't want to keep this in our house. And at the time, you had no concept of really RVing. But the freedom you even mentioned to us, you're like, I just don't want to be tethered to the daily grind of picking, packing, and shipping.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you were going down to Key West regularly. You're like, you would have to put your store on the time away, and that hurts momentum.
Yep.
So it's just an added bonus to hear that you're like, oh, we don't have to stay stationary to have a business anymore. And it's just a dream that a lot of people are like, I think a lot of people are going to start taking advantage of this in the digital age. And that's one of the reasons why we started eBLISS, for the RV traveler, which you have become. But you weren't when you first started with us, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
We have for years, I mean, I'm going to say going back 5, 6, 7 years, talked about opening a business so that we could be together, so that we could do it together, so we could do our dream together. And we are both, I don't know what the word would be. We love the idea of boots on the ground across America and seeing people and talking to people and learning the history of America and seeing the flyover states. That you put us wanting our own business and us wanting to see America together, and then seeing you and seeing what you guys have accomplished and what you guys make possible for us, made all of our ducks line up very quickly and made us sit up and say, wait a second, this is a real possibility. What turned from a hobby, actually, it was I had to clean out my closet. My closet was too full. That's what it started with, the whole way back, and morphed into this, we can give. And the more we give and the more that we help other people, the more we seem to get, and the more blessed we become with all of our choices. And now here we are, literally on the brink of picking our RV and making a dream that, I'm going to say, we didn't necessarily know it was exactly this, but pretty darn close come true. And in my opinion, very short period of time.
I cannot wait to see where you guys go, who you see, who you meet. Because I can imagine that all the other great things that you're going to experience, but the sourcing opportunities that you're going to be able to find across the country, because it does vary in different parts of the country, will just be so much fun for you. Especially, do you both like the sourcing? Did you ask that question originally or no? Do you both like sourcing equally, or is it like one or the other, or do you guys have different talents when it comes to sourcing?
I think at first, most of my eBaying that I had done was in collectibles, because I know a little bit more about collectibles. So the sourcing of that was kind of fun. And when I sourced that, and this is a whole other, discussion, was I would buy a case, take out my own, and then sell the rest. So I was getting something out of the deal in addition to some of the profit, right? So this clothes thing, I love clothes, like, don't get me wrong, but like in the clearance section was really never for me. My size usually wasn't there. It usually wasn't, styles and colors I was looking for. So that was like Leah's thing. Like, she had this gift, and, it wasn't like she was going to clearance because we needed to buy clearance. She would just come home with these things, these dresses, and it would be like, I paid $10 for this. and it was like $150 dress. It would literally like melt my face. Like, how did you do this?
Everybody
And
likes a deal. I mean, everybody
and-
likes a good deal.
And I can't do it. Like, I would just be like, what about this? And she, nah, no. And then all of a sudden, this is the one. And it's like, how did you even find that?
You know, I think that mindset of, or the ability to source clearance at clearance prices, like you go to clearance, what are the odds you're going to find exactly what you're looking for in clearance in your size? I'm not limited by the size. In fact, the more sizes and the more extreme sizes are, the better. So, because those are harder to find for other people. So when somebody's looking for a particular piece or has a style in mind and they need it at a lower price, I give them the ability to shop clearance without having to shop through every single solitary hanger. So, what I love about it, I mean, who doesn't love shopping? But this started with a brand called Free People. And I love this brand. I would say 80% of my wardrobe is Free People. And so the only part of this that I hate is that I have to sell it. It's so hard for me at times. I mean, we went on this trip and I, go through 265 pieces and I'm like, can I have this? Just one.
That happens to us too, here and there.
That's some of the
that's the hardest part. I don't think you've kept anything we've sourced yet.
No.
We love getting things for people. That's really, really fun. You get to see things in clearance that somebody wouldn't buy for themselves. They wouldn't buy a $98 shirt. But literally, I found a shirt that I thought we ended up giving it to his old coworker as a goodbye gift because they wouldn't have. It was just perfect. You see something and you think of people and you're like, oh, they would love this. And I get it, and that's a great thing. Or, for his mother or for, Crystal or Brian or, any of the kids, it's fun.
Yeah. But we both love it now. Like I've definitely gotten into it. And for me, it was just a learning curve. Like I felt a little bit like a fish out of water. I've been in retail all my life and now I was learning something new. And numbers have always been something that I enjoyed. But she's been the expert on this for so long. So I was always afraid, was the margins going to be there? Was this going to be the right product for us? But now we got the system, we get in the store, we hit the rack, and then it's like, who's got the bigger arm at the end? But
I think, as resellers and which platforms are you on? I know definitely eBay, right?
Right now it's exclusively eBay.
Okay.
We are preparing our platform to expand to, I'm assuming all of the major other ones, Poshmark, Mercari. I'm not sure where else you were planning.
Plus our own website. We're going to have our own website. People can buy directly through us. Like if they want to come visit there and see some of the things that maybe we don't have listed on auction, or some of the other like fast turn type of items. Like we like to do stuff like, PlayStations are super hot right now. So, if I have the opportunity to get a PlayStation and somebody else can get one for Christmas that maybe couldn't, like it's a great feeling, like to be able to do that. And, I know a lot of people, again, take advantage, but we don't. Like, look, there's a cost to going out and sourcing. There's a cost to gas nowadays. There's a cost to rent an RV. And look, we want to be able to survive, but ultimately we want someone to be able to get something that maybe, whether it's an outfit or a PlayStation 5, maybe it's something they wouldn't have been able to get because the stores just got wiped out, or, people come in and overbuy, and we've never tried to do that. Like we try and always leave something behind for everybody else,
Yeah, there's so much profit out there. As Lea was saying, she could go and it doesn't matter what size these items are. And as long as there's profit baked in, there's a market out there. eBay, 187 million buyers. Someone will buy that. And especially if you are using your approach of, I'm going to pass that good deal on to somebody out there. And you don't have to worry about a brick and mortar store, employees, the storage. That's what energizes us. When you were out here, we were even brainstorming. You were like, you know what? I never thought maybe, Tommy, you were like, maybe I could get into a different category or a niche and complement what Lea is already nailing. Like, because she's going to get her items. And if you branched out, you essentially could double your profits.
We're actually we are considering as part of the scale, instead of having I spoke about the stuff that I accidentally pull new at tags, or something that we don't realize is damaged, or something that's a little bit different. We're probably going to be selling those on a different platform, and a platform that maybe doesn't have returns. Whereas this one, we have 100% return profit. We want to be able to say 100% of our items have returns. We have, no problems. We want to be able to say, hey, listen, you're going to get this even cheaper because we made a mistake. You're going to profit even more. You're going to benefit even more from it. So,
and look, again, we're new. Like, we came out there in July. Like, we really started to put a lot of energy behind this only in really September, October.
That's right. I remember prior to that, you only had a very small handful of items here. And in the last 3 or 4 months, you have really ramped up your business. As a matter of fact, I was mentioning to your account manager the other day that we're going to have to move the next client who's next to you down, because we need more space on our shelves for your future bins, because you're already maxed out in 2 sections of our shelves. So
yes.
it's amazing to see the growth that you guys have been able to do in such a short time. Having been not doing this very long, do you have any insights, or what have you learned the last couple months that you might want to share with other new sellers regarding reselling or eBay or any part of the process?
So I would say that for me, the first part was when we thought about doing this, and we thought about it back in June, and when we were discussing what we were going to do and what plans we were going to put forward, my biggest thing was capital. I was so afraid of spending the capital. I was so afraid of putting it out. I was afraid of taking money out of my bank account. I was afraid of, and what happens if this doesn't sell, and I'm putting out all this money. And I have to tell you, deciding that I have X amount of capital to work with, and deciding that I am going to put that into the bucket and I'm never going to see it again. That's that capital. That was the biggest thing. And you guys were responsible for that. You guys were responsible for allowing me to let go of that fear, because Dave kept talking about the more you put in, the more you get out, the more you put in, the more you get out. And it really was a lesson I needed to learn and to accept in order to scale this. This would not have been possible without that lesson that you guys taught us. And I don't even think you were trying to teach that. I think it would just happened. And it was my biggest takeaway was just, you know what? If you decide to do it, whatever number that is, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever number you decide, just do it. Just spend the money. If you decide that you have $1,000 to spend on something that you're going to resell, spend it. Don't spend $10 and then $100. Just spend it. Just spend $1,000 on inventory. It will come back. It has come back, and it has come back. And I would never have believed the ability to put out money, and it really comes back. I can't explain to you how it works, and it just did.
Well, listen, the other thing I would say is you don't do any of that without building a plan first. Like, we say that now, but obviously, and look, it's a little bit more than back of the napkin math, and that's probably something for another call. But look, you need to know what you need to live. So you always begin with the end in mind, and you work backwards. Like, how much do I need to live, right? How many pieces, how much money profit do I make? How many pieces do I need to sell to get that profit? And then how many pieces do I need to source to sell that many pieces? So it's math. It's you can be upset with it all you want, but numbers don't lie. And then you will learn how many pieces you need to source in order to sell through as many pieces you need to make as much profit as you need to make as much money as you need, right?
Totally.
So, and then once you know that, then you start jumping in there and spending that money. But definitely you don't do that without, doing some math first.
And when you are sourcing, now I assume you're just not buying things because they're inexpensive, they're cheap. You're probably thinking like this has a history. We can flip this within maybe 5 months or something like that. You're just not buying things because they're $1 and in bulk. That's the difference I hear. Is that correct?
Yeah, we definitely, I think it's interesting for us because we are listing so much, a lot of our inventory is selling quickly after listing. And so I can go to the store and say, we just sold 3 of these. We just sold 2 of these. Like we're selling while it's still in the clearance rack because, like Laurie said, geographically, things go into clearance differently. So I can get something that was in clearance in the Northeast in May, and it's not in clearance until November in Florida, which means people in Florida are going to go online and it's still full price in their stores. But in our stores, here it's already in clearance. They're going to buy that and they're going to get a better deal. And yet everybody, that's the kind of win-win situation for everybody.
And just touching upon that, one last thing about, you mentioned capital, like, investing capital in your business. The great thing about reselling is what you invest is, it's essentially cash that's sitting on a shelf. Okay. And you could blow that out and recoup or, get back what you put in easily. I know you're at I forget what your average selling price is, but assuming it's $40 and you have 500 items with us right now, you have $20,000 in resell value. Would you get that? Top line. Would you get that if you wanted to blow it all out? No, but you probably could get at least 60% of that, I would think, based on your smart sourcing. So Lea, back to your, initial, like, hey, we're going to invest $5,000 in inventory. It's still here. The value is still here. It's not like some fleeting, like, investment
and
that lost value.
That was one of the things you said. That was one of the things that went into that little shaker that we poured out that turned into our dreams. I hate to say it. I love to say it that way, that you guys, you threw some ice and some cocktail ingredients in there and you took it all out. And,
what's in that shaker
right now?
What's in that shaker of choice for you guys? I know you're Key West people. Is it margaritas? Are you no longer Margaritaville?
Oh, listen, we love Margaritaville. I think I'm getting a little bit old for tequila. But certainly Evan is a good friend. Certainly, and Tito is an amazing friend of mine. Because I love to go wherever he goes. But at the end of the day, absolutely, look, it's been a blast. It's been a really amazing ride in a short period of time.
Right.
And I really think about, number one is knowing people have already done it and have been honest. Like, one of the things that's different about you guys don't mind giving away your secrets. Like, a lot of people try to hold these things in, and you help people get what you want. You help people get what they want. You get what you want. It just works out that way. It's hard for people to understand that the more people that you try and improve, the better it becomes back to you. But having that knowledge, and then also just a little bit of finance, from my history, and being able to know that, what you need to do to make money, right? And just be able to watch those numbers. And, part of that is blended margin. Right. And without getting too technical, not everything sells for the same price. Right. Sometimes things sell higher, sometimes sell lower. And that could be, supply and demand. That could be inflation. That could be some external factor. There's so many things that control the final price of something. But ultimately, that's taken into account when you look at everything. You're not going to make a huge margin on some things. But, as long as you make a little something and we improved somebody's life and made them better, then we win as far as we're concerned.
And it's good that you guys realize that, because especially a lot of new sellers, will get very hung up on every single transaction. They're so transaction focused, and they fret over not making that same margin on every single item. And they're not looking at it at the big picture. They're not looking at it long term. They're they're like literally in the weeds of every single transaction. And I think it's smart not to do that, because you are correct. You're not going to win exactly the same on everything.
We've made repeat customers already. Like, that's important to us, because these are people now that are like, okay, they know that they're getting quality. They know that they're getting real. They know that they're getting it fast and packaged properly, treated as a garment should be. Like, look, I'm not going to, treat a Michael Kors $200 dress like a piece of crap. Like, that is not. So it's treated the right way. And we know it's easier for them to come back and buy from us than some random person on eBay at 3 a.m. So the more we want our repeat customers, and sometimes if we have to do something a little bit special for them, look, they're even better. because then they're the best word of mouth to say, hey, if somebody really likes Free People and they're a fan, hey, there's these couple on eBay that sells Free People, like this is where you got to go. I mean, we were in Boot Barn in Roanoke, Virginia, and Leah mentioned Free People, and lady checking it out, I was like, I love Free People. We're like, oh, well, guess where you can go and get a great deal on Free People.
Wow, nice.
Just wait till you launch your social media.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
Coming
coming
soon.
great.
We're very
But no, that's
excited.
really smart of you guys, because you have that kind of inventory. I think that really lends itself to repeat buyers. Not
Yeah.
every eBay seller does, so you can take advantage of the tools that eBay gives you with regard to branding your store, whether it's coupons or other kind of discounts. You can really take advantage of that, and eBay actually shows you how many of your the percentage of your sales that came from repeat customers.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that.
We saw that.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so much you can do. And with a store like yours, I definitely would think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. And, you mentioned before, you asked about some of like kind of those best practices that we learned, and, it made me think of two things. Number one, like, don't resist eBay. Like, learn what it's trying to teach you, right? There is a method, and people who are unwilling to bend the knee and say, look, this is the way to do it, rather than trying to be like, no, I'm going to beat the system. You're not going to beat the system. The system was designed. Learn what the system is trying to teach you, because that's what the system is designed to do, to teach you a behavior. Learn that behavior, and then you will make money. And then the other thing that I think has been a best practice is take care, like for us who buy retail and we buy lots of stuff, take care of the people who check you out. Like, you go in there, they're tired. Like, it's Christmas time. They've seen a million people cussing at them all day, cards getting declined, things without price tags. So if you can bring some joy into their life that day, right, you just make them feel better, and all the more like they get you out of there, they take good care, and then later they feel good that they accomplished something that to other people is like, oh, you check out at a department store, but this is their job. Like, and they want to be good at it. And when you can tell someone, hey, thank you for getting me out of here quickly and getting all the security tags off, we make like a big joke of, did you get all the security tags off? And then they make it like a game, like, so that was one of the ways we overcame the security tag problem, is that we made it a game so that they would try and find everyone. So in the same vein of that, learn what the game is trying to teach you, and you'll be able to play it.
Good advice.
So, yeah. Now each of you, I don't know your history. Are you guys entrepreneurs at heart, or are you more like, I'm a 9 to 5, I'm gonna, clock out and go home?
I would have said a year ago I was a 9 to 5er. I'm very good at following instruction. I'm very good at following processes. I enjoy making other people's lives better. I actually think on my resume, my executive assistant resume, it says my job is to make your job easier. That was what I thought my job was. And I think that I get to do that with him now, but I'm doing it for us. So I guess that's it's morphed into that entrepreneurial. I'm doing it for us. It's starting to feed that. The more I realize it's for us, the better it gets, and the more I want to do it. So I'm definitely getting that more spirit.
And for me,
let's work longer. Let's work harder. Let's go further. Yeah. Let's put it all in there.
And for me, it's been forever. Like, I got, excuses are for the weak, right? Stay humble and hustle. Like, those are some of the most important things. And like, I love the game. Like, it's so much fun to be able to go out there and find things that you can turn into gold. And if you improve someone's life along the way, it's just a bonus on top. Like, it makes you feel like what you're doing is not just, to survive, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, at the end of the day, we all have to eat, and, the good Lord has no problem with that. And as long as you can help some people along the way, man, it makes it so much more fun.
Yeah. Now, Tommy, I know you were in sales. You shared that with us. And that in itself, that's a fiery entrepreneurial spirit, even though it may not be your own business, but you're in control of your destiny somewhat, with sales and commissions and stuff. Many resellers, and we've seen this over the years, many resellers are solopreneurs. they want to do it all. They want to source, they want to list, and they want to ship. And they get caught up in margin. Like, I don't want to give up any margin to grow. You guys dove right in. So you guys are no longer solopreneurs. You're like, we see the benefit to outsource. You said it was your pain point or your weakness?
Your weakness.
Right.
Hire your weakness.
Right. And you're doing it. And where you came in a year is, I mean, you have to write a book or ebook or story like this, because people want to hear that. They want to hear success. They're rooting for you. You're demonstrating that it can be done, but it has to be done with intention. And
you have to invest in your success.
Right.
There
You have to be
go.
willing to invest in your success. It's not just about your time. Sometimes the money is less valuable than the time. And at the end of the day, forget the storage part of what you do, because I think people can very easily see that. The time spent picking, packing, and shipping is, especially for the hustler, for the solopreneur who's only getting 5 packages a day, if they're lucky, mailed out. We don't have a mailman coming to our house to pick it up, which means every day we have to do all of those things. We have to pick them, pack them, ship them, and you have to ship them right, which I'm going to be honest with you. I really learned the people at my post office, because I think the first 3 packages I tried shipping from eBay took me about 15 visits.
Yeah. Wow.
Right.
I had the wrong prepaid label. I had the wrong box. I had the wrong bag. I had the wrong weight. I had the wrong area. It didn't matter. Just like the first time I got it right, all the girls at the post office were like, "Yay!"
Oh my! Wow. Yeah.
So that was, when you said pain point, he said weakness. It was both of those for me. So it was huge to know that I could pay you guys, I mean, this much to take away such a huge portion of what was detracting me from doing this in the first place.
I was just going to say, the other part to that is the time, the solopreneur. Here's the thing. It takes us about 8 minutes to do a listing. If you work 24/7, 7 days a week, you can only list 1,260 things. Period. The end. There's no more. There's no more things.
There's no more time.
Sell any more than that.
Right.
And you didn't source yet. You didn't eat.
Ship it.
You didn't eat. You didn't sleep. Right. You didn't go to a bathroom. You listed 1,260 items. You are maxed out in your life in a week. It's impossible to do it alone. If you want to scale, like, you need to bring other people into it.
And I remember you brought this up, and this is exactly, it has been our message with eBLISS, is our average client saves anywhere from 3 to 5 hours per week because they don't have to pick, pack, and ship. Most of them say, I'm just enjoying my freedom. But there are some that say, I'm going out and I'm sourcing more because I could source $150 an hour. Now, I don't know what you could source per hour, but I'm sure it's an easy back of the napkin formula. And you know that. I'll put you on a spot. If you saved 5 hours a week per month, that's 20 hours a month saved. If you could use that 20 hours to drive around to your spots and source, what type of product value could you get?
That's at least what we said. It was 3 hours per store, 1 hour or 2 hours, 1 hour shopping, 1 hour checking out, 1 hour between. So we said it was about 3 hours in between each store. So, I mean, that's just 6 stores and average 50 pieces a store. I mean, 300 extra pieces.
Yeah.
Did I just do that right? It's 300 extra pieces.
Day or week?
No, saving what you guys give us back.
And 5 hours. We could source 300 pieces in 5 hours.
Okay. Gotcha.
With an average, 300
right.
pieces, 300 pieces for those 5 hours, which has an average selling price of $50.
Right, $40 to $50.
So that's almost $2,000 a week.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, times 4 in a month. So that's an extra $8,000 to $10,000 a month that you potentially could get in product value just by not having to pay.
And again, this is once you're flying, like this is once you're really cranking. But at the end of the day, like, you can't think about where you are now. Like, you need to think about where you're going to begin with the end in mind. Like, where do you want to get to? And don't wait until you're on your way there. Right. Because then you're in trouble. Like, you got to plan now. If we had all these pieces, we couldn't scale to where we are now. If we didn't ship to you guys, like, we'd still be behind where we are. It's only because we keep flying these boxes out like 2 or 3 or 4 a week that we can continue to keep moving.
Right. And that's the thing I think a lot of people might miss. Like you were saying, it's not a tangible thing. The space is a very tangible thing. The time is not tangible. But what's also intangible is you are not spending that time dealing with the issues that are that come up because you do have the items in your possession, and that's organization. That's having a system of where are you gonna not lose it, or you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of intangibles, and then not that's just the organization, shipping. I mean, storage, the shipping, like Lea was saying, a whole host of different issues that come up. I mean, you guys don't even have to keep shipping supplies in your house if you don't want to.
Hold on. You guys like bacon? Do you guys like bacon?
It's expensive.
Yeah,
but
we
like
do. Haven't bought it in a while, but yeah.
Fried chicken? How about fried chicken? Anyone of you guys like fried chicken?
Yeah, I'll eat it.
What does your house smell like when you cook bacon?
Bacon.
You got to store those clothes in the house.
That's right.
We literally learned that we can't make fried chicken in our house.
Oh
wow,
my gosh.
really?
Oh, I forgot about
Think
that.
about that. Like all of a sudden, the house smells like bacon, and you got $1,000 worth of clothes hanging in the room or in the room 2 rooms over. Like that was something. Now we have our basement dedicated, but we are maxed in the basement. Like where would we store it? The clothes would smell like bacon and fried chicken. I know it sounds silly.
No, it's not.
But it's legit.
Yeah.
We spent 2 hours, 2 years, not 2 hours, 2 years through the beta testing and thinking of everything for eBLISS. We never thought about bacon and fried chicken. I got to give you that one.
That's true.
Because we have to put that on our site. Tommy said, forget about fried chicken and bacon because comes from a bacon fried chicken household. Okay, do you have that in your listings, people?
Yeah, right.
Bacon and fried chicken free household.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
That's funny.
And another thing is, Lori and I, we're passionate about this, helping other resellers. That's why we started eBLISS, and it's seeing your situation, hearing your story. Tommy, you mentioned to me when you were out here, you said, you guys, your motto should be eBLISS, for the business-minded reseller. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is for the business-minded reseller, but it's also for those who we want to open people's eyes to the freedom that they could get, the scalability they could get by outsourcing the fulfillment. And to share with you, a few of our clients had warehouses, had employees, had all the overhead, and they decided to just say it's not worth it for them to overspend on things that they're not fully utilizing. And you guys, I love how you're saying, hey, well, we have 500 items with you, but we're going to get another 500 listed up this month, or knowing you guys, you'll get another 500 in 2 weeks. And all we have to do is shift your items, get another shelving space, and you are paying for what you're using, not for overspending for waste.
We obviously, on this trip that we took this last week, we discussed a lot about business and future and scaling and where we are and where we're going to be and what we need. And I said during our trip, the invoice came in, the eBLISS invoice, and I said, I don't begrudge it. I pay it like this. It's the easiest money that easiest money. Best value. I have no problem. I can't tell you, mainly because we never got into where we had warehousing and we were doing all the shipping. I've never learned FedEx. I've never learned UPS. I don't know express shipping. I mean, I know this much, and I never had to learn it, which I'm glad, because I may not have ever done this if I had to overcome that. So for us, we have you as you're part of our business model, and you've always been part of our business model as far as our scaling. So for us, it is the easiest thing to do. It was the best decision, only decision we could have made and succeeded was using your services. And it's just, like I said, you guys are always willing to answer questions. You do measurements. I try so hard not to ask you because I hate bothering you, but You've never
Mhm.
not helped us with anything, whether it was knowledge, time, energy, new shipping methods, whatever it was, and accommodating our business. So for me, it's a no-brainer.
Well,
And-
thank you, because I mean
Thank
that's how we see ourselves as partners in your growth and your goals. Whatever your goals are for your business, we see ourselves as partners in that. We are facilitator to make that happen, whatever it is. And if we can impart wisdom and in other ways other than just strictly storing and shipping. I mean, we do that. We're, as you know, we had the Denver eBay meetup group. And so it's just like in our nature to help other resellers. So for eBLISS was a natural sort of progression of what we had already been doing for ourselves. And it just, like Dave always says, it never feels like work because we enjoy it so much. And
love
I
what
think
you
you
do?
guys are
Yeah.
feeling, I think you guys are feeling that too.
Yeah.
Right.
If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That's right.
And that expression has never been truer. For me, look, it's been a long time. We joked that when I retired, I had been getting an hourly report, a retail hourly report, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, starting at 9 a.m. every hour on the hour till 1 a.m. for 17 years until the first day that it stopped. And, there was a lot of, well, what am I going to do? And listen, I don't begrudge the time that I spent. I'm thankful and I'm blessed to have been able to work in the places that I've worked because that prepared me and made me the person that I am now. So, but I'll tell you what, it is such a great feeling to be able to be here and learn. Like, it's so important to learn a lot. You talk about, I said, to hire your weakness, right? It's great to be a solopreneur, but then you become the jack of all trades and the master of nothing. Like, you have to, become really an expert at one part, and then you can start to learn other things. So for us, it's really the sourcing part, understanding the math behind that to make sure that it makes sense so we can stay in business and keep doing what we want to do, right? That's the job for us right now. We're not here to learn about like the operations and how to get things done and what things cost. Like, that's how you guys support us. So we can grow in this area of business. And then once we feel like we know enough, because you're never going to know it all, right? Then maybe we can start to learn other things. But I think that's still a ways away.
You guys, what a story. So grateful to have you guys really just spreading the word about freedom, entrepreneurship, just being energized and fulfilled. And you're fulfilled because eBLISS does your fulfillment. All right. So,
we joke about the invoice, and, when the invoice comes in, it's like the invoice costs X dollars. My first thought is, what did I get for my X dollars?
Yeah.
I got a lot of freedom, and freedom ain't cheap, right? And time is cheap. It's not cheap. Sorry. I mean, it's limited. It's more limited than money. Like, we can print more money. If we run out, we just print more, but you can't make more time.
That's
And
true.
you know what? I gave a lot of my time to the retail world, and now I want to give more time to Lea, and I want to give more time to my family, and I want to give more time to getting experiences, while I can still enjoy them. And, that's really what it's going to be about going forward.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your wisdom and your insights with us. This has been such a wonderful hour, and we're definitely going to have you back on again.
Absolutely.
Once you get on the road, and maybe you can even join us from the road. That would be fun.
That'd
You
be
can
awesome.
share your journeys out there. I can't wait to hear all about it because that is going to be so exciting.
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for making our dream come true.
Oh,
Yes.
you're
Really.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.